got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your understanding? I won't even use the term understanding. What's your take on the Fermi Paradox and how it applies to what we know currently?
Man, I haven't gotten this question in a while. Man, that's a really hard question, actually. Okay, so actually, I would, so that I'm not giving you a bunch of jargon, I'm gonna ask you. Because this could go way.
Yeah, the fact that he had to stop and pause, I was like, oh,
I waited until we got here to ask it. So yeah,
this is go way left. Okay, so I'm gonna preface this with a question. I'm gonna answer your question with a question. What is your take on the Fermi paradox? I want to know that first before I answer your question.
My take on the Fermi paradox is that we are far more primitive than advanced, and we have an understanding strictly based on our own dreams and hopes. So a lot of what we do is we speculate based on the evidence that we've already had before us, and then we apply that to what we see in front of us. So my idea of the Fermi paradox is, well, if we're able to do this, I could only imagine what another advanced species, because we consider ourselves pretty advanced,
right?
Another advanced species is capable of. And if that is the case, then why haven't they reached out to us, or do they even know we exist? But
okay. No, yeah, go ahead.
The other side of that is we're not as advanced as we think we are, and we might be the most advanced ever because we're the only thing out here. That's the paradox.
Okay, so then I would say then, to answer your question, what's my take on the Fermi paradox? I would say that it is, I think we should approach it differently. I think we should, my opinion on this, and so, okay, so I'm taking off my NASA hat here. I'm taking off my NASA hat here because he come back. Hey, Ron, you were talking about Fermi paradox in the podcast. Like, did I? Yeah. Okay. Is that a problem?
I know.
Yeah.
I respect it.
But yeah, so I would say that it is. I don't believe that we are the. I don't believe that we are the only possible life forms out here. And I say possible because there's an unknown as to whether or not, if there is other life out there, right? Whether or not it is advanced.
Right.
So it could be molecular life. It could be bacteria.
Yep.
It could be melanin floating out in space.
Yep.
And if that's the case, then price is going up because that means I'm cosmic out here. I'm extragalactic. Like, if we buy melanin in space, price is going up. Y'all can't touch me. But I think there's a lot of information out there, and I think for us to be so unique, there has to be another occurrence. Whether or not we are meant to find that is another question.
Right.
But I don't believe, because we are so unique, that makes us solitary. And so what does that look like? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Wouldn't that be kind of depressing to know that we're the only ones?
It kind of would be, because then it's, we're sending a whole bunch of stuff in space. And if that's the case, then we're not going to get any answers back.
Yeah.
But,
what that does is it creates a confirmation bias for those who are like heavily religious, because it makes it seem like we are the chosen ones. However, I'm like very, very into like octopi. So I study like the life of an octopus, and I look at the way they function, and they're probably one of the most advanced species of creature on our planet. If they could exist out of water, they would probably dominate us because they're highly intelligent. We just don't understand them as well as we think we do. I watched one in a jar get itself out of a jar with a lid screwed on tight. You know, it tinkered with the lid a little bit and
Open it up. Yeah.
unscrewed it. You know, the abilities of an octopus, you know, the things they can do with its color and its texture and blend in and camouflage. So it's like, we don't, again, like you said earlier, how a lot of what we have as far as elements and things like that aren't necessarily native to our planet. There's so many questions to be answered about just life on our planet. So I would imagine that there's something out there.
I mean, exactly.
Our understanding of it is just where the gap is, because we're still learning.
Yep. And you know, octopi or what is he? I'm not a zoologist. I think they're called arthropods.
Yeah.
Grouping like squid and other octopi in there. They're between octopi, dolphins, and primates. You're looking at the 3 most advanced brains on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but then at the same time, you know, going to your jar example and what you observed, I've seen a similar situation like that too. Nature's going to find a way.
Always.
Nature's always going to find a way.
Yes.
So if there's something else out there, I'm sure nature found a way. Somehow, some way, nature found a way.
Yeah.
But you know, at the same time, nature will also find a way to conceal itself as well. And so to hide itself for protection. And so that may also be the case as well. There's a lot of organisms in the bottom of the ocean that are unmapped. They're unknown because they're hiding. They don't want to be found. It's dangerous to them. And so, you know, that's kind of the back end for what my opinion on the Fermi Paradox, and, you know, whether there's life out there. If there is life out there and we haven't found it yet, we need to answer the question, okay, does it want to be found in the first place?
Or would we have the advanced mind to even acknowledge that it exists if it was
how can we perceive
in
that
front of us? Yeah. How do we recognize it? I was told that your brain only processes what it knows, and it makes a general observation for everything else. So like like with a child, if a child doesn't know what something is, it investigates it. Mm-hmm. You know, it'll pick it up if it can, or it'll walk around it and try to see, what is this thing? Where like if it's bigger than life, if it's larger than life, it's something we've never seen before. Fortunate for us, we live in a day and time where everybody's got a cell phone now. But just imagine in a day and age where nobody had these things to actually record this information, what their observations even were. And it might have been right there in front of their face. And it might be in our faces now.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure it's there. And I'm, you know, I would trust the observations from like 1,000 years ago than today, because you can fake an Instagram video.
Yep, exactly.
True.
You can do that from your phone. We got apps now.
It goes right back to what I was saying about the generating images and things like that. We are more advanced than we've ever been technologically. So because of that, we take a lazy approach to actually just having discernment and actually picking things apart and being more critical in our thinking on these things. You know what I'm saying? So that's why people question more than they actually accept the answer for, you know, when it comes to something like the Fermi Paradox. You know, I mean, I'm always open to all of the information because I don't know. You're way more informed than I am. You
Doc, we had these type of conversations from time to time, just so you know.
I've got millions of questions.
Look, but that's all right. I have me and my brother, we go on rips as well. We'd be talking for hours.
We do this, man.
Doc, we sit around all the time and we'll do this. It's like, dude, we don't know.
Right. That's why this is a treat for me, you know, hearing it from you and actually getting an informed perspective, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that we aren't the only ones.
Right.
I hope that. But, you know, I'm looking at the size of the universe. We're looking at 14.7 billion light years across.
And the James kind of changed our scope on what we understood before, you know.
And that's only 5% of what we've seen.
Yeah.
It's only 5%.
We've only observed 5% of the universe
right now. Yeah.